I love it, guys. Micron up around 14% in the aftermarket. The stock hit $9.90 earlier in the day, which is insane, and we hit over $1,200 in the aftermarket, $1,217 to be exact. And of course, to no surprise, Micron destroyed earnings, EPS, revenue, guidance, you name it. So obviously, guys, we're going to break down these numbers, talk about a trade that I closed here in the aftermarket, and we'll break down other stocks, where my head's at, the whole 9 yards, guys. So hit the like button, feel free to subscribe, and let's just dive into it, man. So Micron is ripping, and this is not a surprise. I mean, look, the setup heading into earnings before we dive into the actual numbers, it was the opposite of what we saw last quarter. Last quarter, we jumped into earnings. We ripped into earnings. We were at all-time highs, and in this case, we were already down $250 a share from highs. We hit $12.45 2 days ago, and we got down to $9.90. So we already shook out a lot of the weak hands heading into earnings. And I mean, at the lowest point, we were down 21% in a bear market. So we were already set up pretty nicely into the print. And the fact that they crushed earnings, the buyers rushed in, which again, it was the opposite last go around. We ran into earnings, the stock sold off. And look, it could still sell off tomorrow, the next day, who knows? But the initial reaction here is not surprising at all because of how, again, oversold we were. So Micron ended up reporting, let's see, I'm pretty sure they did over $25 of earnings per share. Adjusted EPS, $25.11, which beat the $20.63 estimate on sales of $41.45 billion, guys, which also beat the $35.5 billion estimate. So very nice double beat. And they see Q4 EPS, guys, oh my goodness, of $30.73, plus or minus $1 on revenue of $50 billion, plus or minus $1 billion. So their guidance through the roof. They double beat EPS and revenue. And did they give us full year guidance or anything like that? It looks like, yeah, $49 to $51 billion for the upcoming quarter revenue versus the $42.9 billion expected. And again, EPS of $30 to $32 versus the $25.50 expected. So they crushed it, and nobody's surprised. I mean, this is not surprising whatsoever. And their gross margin, I'm not seeing it here, but I was reading it earlier. Their gross margin came in at 85%. I'm pretty sure last quarter it was 75%, and a year ago in the same period it was in the mid-30s, if I remember correctly. So their gross margin, guys, as earnings per share, going through the roof, right? Their gross margin's absolutely exploding. 85%. Think about that. And the company's saying the tight supply is going to last beyond 2027. It says here, I'm pretty sure Micron says they expect quarterly CapEx in fiscal 2027, blah, blah, blah. Industry trends says currently do not have a line of sight to when supply will be able to catch up with increasing demand, right? So this supply, the tight supply, and the booming demand is going to last beyond 2027 is what we're hearing, which we already kind of knew, but it's always great to get that affirmation, the reaffirmation. So yeah, man, it's a great setup for the stock to go nuts, and the entire AI trade is moving here. You name it, pick a company, you name it, it's going up in the aftermarket. I personally, let's talk about a trade I made here. I personally locked in profits on SOXL. Do you guys remember we talked about this? I'm pretty sure in my last video. I bought some of this yesterday at about, what price was that? $235, I believe. And I bought more today, I believe at $218, right before close. Yeah, it was $218. I bought some more, brought my average cost down, and this thing just went berserk heading into the aftermarket after Micron's earnings. Now, was that a bit of a risky trade on my part? Yes, it was. And I mentioned that in the Patreon on the post I made. Look, I said this is a very risky, high-risk trade. A trade that I don't make often. It's a smaller dollar value trade due to the risk, but it played out. It worked out beautifully. This thing ripped to 261. Now it's at 261. It got all the way to 265. And by the way, this is a 3x leveraged ETF. I'm sure you guys know SOXL. Again, very risky. And I set a limit order in the aftermarket at 255. And I sold the majority of my shares. I have a little bit left riding, but I'm going to close that out tomorrow, most likely. So that played out. And look, it could go a lot higher, but for me, I'm comfortable locking in the gains, raising some cash, right? Looking for the next opportunity. And going back to Micron, ticker MU, this thing is now $1,200 again. Boom, just like that. And we're pushing towards all-time highs. Now the question is, will it rip all the way through all-time highs? Will it go to $1,300, $1,400 now with no pullback? Listen, man, I'm not a fortune teller. I get these questions all the time in the comments, right, across all these videos. They're like, Stas, what's Micron going to do tomorrow? Is it going up? Is it going to go up after earnings? Where's it going to be at next year? We can make educated guesses, but man, I'm not a fortune teller. It's hard to tell, but no doubt it does look like it wants to take out the highs. All-time highs could be coming here. And yeah, it was just a great report, man. And at the end of the day, stocks follow fundamentals. And the guidance was stronger, much stronger than expected. So I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to trek up here over the coming months. I really would not be surprised, guys. And look at some of these other stocks. Lam Research ripping in the aftermarket, $20 per share pop here in the aftermarket. Stocks like obviously SanDisk for obvious reasons. This one's up around $120 a share in the aftermarket. Last I checked, Nvidia wasn't doing much. I mean, look, Nvidia is a massive company, guys. It's going to take a lot to move it. And this thing actually closed at $199 today. On a side note, Nvidia, this descending triangle looks like it might play out. The head and shoulders might play out. This might be coming down to 190, 195. That's where I'll buy more. But Nvidia had a 0.5% red day. I guess it is up a little bit in the aftermarket here after Micron's earnings, but not too much. It's right around $200 a share, which I think is just insane. But we'll save that for another video, guys. We're not going to go too deep into Nvidia today. Let's see what other ones are doing here, like AMD. I want to see kind of the big dogs. AMD's up a good chunk. Yeah, $17 in the aftermarket. Very nice pop there. Let's see Broadcom. I'm curious. I haven't looked at Broadcom today. This closed at 375.80-ish. Now we're at 390. We actually hit almost 395 in the aftermarket. Not a bad move here on Broadcom, but still very much under where we were a couple of weeks ago. I don't think so for long, guys, but we are there now. And let's see. I mean, we got other names. Forget the AI names for a second. Some other stocks moved today. A lot of other stocks, guys. Affirm, which we called out. Did I not buy call options a couple days ago, or was that last week? Either way, bought the $70 calls that expire in December, and we're making money on those, man, already. They're up a good chunk, and I think there's more upside for Affirm. Mercado Libre, another stock from that I own that's been so stubborn. Look, I started buying it in the beginning of the year, or maybe it was in December. Either way, started buying Mercado Libre. It hasn't done much, but this is truly a 2028, 2029, 2030 and beyond story. I plan on holding this stock for a while. I think it's a $3,000+ stock. And at this point, it's a great time to accumulate a growing business that's trading at a pretty decent valuation, where the long-term charts still look really good, at least in my opinion, here on Mercado Libre. So that's MELI. That did well today. Other stocks that did well today, I mean, Toast, another one of my, I guess, losing holdings. I don't have many. I mean, look, the market's crushing it. A lot of my stocks are tech, AI oriented, but I do have some other ones that haven't been too pretty. Really, it's just two, and they're not that bad, really. Toast is down all year pretty much. And I think I'm down on my position about 20%, 15. So this one is probably my worst percentage wise. But Mercado Libre, on a side note, my average cost is pretty much right here, like 1730, I think 1715, and we're at 1660 for context, guys. So I think there's, a lot of upside for both of these stocks, to be honest. But I think there could be a little bit more, at least flat trading for a little bit more before the upside. But I'm confident next couple of years, Mercado, Toast, these stocks will be doing a lot better. And honestly, Mercado could be bottoming here slowly, right? That's every investor's favorite last words, right? Oh, the stock's bottoming before it goes down another 30%. But I don't think that's the case. I mean, these companies are growing, they're profitable, they have good moats, they're strong companies. So I'm willing to let them ride. And, I got time. Look, money, this money I'm investing, it's not for tomorrow. It's not for next week or even next year. I have time to let these stocks go. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, man. If you think you're going to buy a stock and it's going to go up the next day and it's going to continue to go up from then onwards, you have no idea what you're talking about. That's the reality, man. You got to be patient. Not every stock goes up once you buy it. That's not how it works. Or all of us would be deca millionaires. We'd be in yachts, penthouses in New York City. Everybody would be rich. It takes patience. Some investments work out a lot quicker than others, and some take longer than you think. For example, hypothetically, here with Mercado Libre, this stock all of a sudden could go up $1,000 in a couple of quarters. You might be holding it for years, maybe months and months and quarters, a couple of years, and then all of a sudden all the gains that you were waiting for, they make up for all that time, or the gains come out of nowhere. I can't tell you how many times there were moments where I'm holding a stock for a year, maybe a couple months even, right? Whatever. And I'm like, oh, this thing's a dog. It's not moving. Oh, what's going on with this? Then all of a sudden, it goes ballistic, and all the gains, pile up out of nowhere and surpass my expectations. I mean, that actually happened with Palantir and SoFi last year. I bought Palantir at $20 a share originally. I bought a bunch of it at $20. And more so with SoFi, Palantir kind of moved quickly. I bought at the right time. I bought right before the breakout, literally. So I didn't have to wait too much on Palantir. It was already trickling up here. It went from like 10 to 15 to 20. And at that point, I was like, oh, did I miss the move? It's already gone up 2 times, 2x. And yeah, we know how that played out. We did not miss the move. But, SoFi, on the flip side, this stock, man, I was in it for a while, kind of just holding on to it. The stock was trickling down under my cost basis, and I just kept pitching away at it, kept adding to it. Then all of a sudden, this one literally doubled on me, almost tripled on me. I was in at, at that time, before I averaged up, I was in at $6, $5, $7. Then this thing went all the way to 15, 16, and I was just like, holy freaking crap, right? Then it pulled back, and it went even more parabolic earlier, this year, right? The end of last year. So that's how the game goes. That's how stocks go. Sometimes you have to sit on your investments, and then all of a sudden you look at it and you're like, oh my goodness, this stock went up 50% in the last 6 months, or it doubled in the last year, and all that time waited was worth it. Because think about it, guys. People nowadays, they're so almost spoiled with all these crazy gains, 100% in a couple months, 300% in a month, a year, right? Whatever it is. And people, they're like, oh, I only got 50% in the last 6 months, or I only got 100% return on this stock. If you break it down, guys, on 100% return on a stock in a year, let's say, even in 2 years, That's 50% a year. I mean, if you break it down by year, let's say you held the stock for 5 years and it went up 200%. I mean, you're making ridiculous returns if you think about it. The average stock market return per year is what, 8 to 10% on the S&P over time? I mean, look, yeah, just, if you're, the moral of the story is, I don't even know where I'm going with that, to be honest. We kind of got sidetracked, but the point is, don't get spoiled on your returns. If you're making a lot of money, right, don't be scared to lock in profits. And sometimes it takes longer than you think, and all the gains come in at once. And it's just, you got to be ready for it. You got to be ready for it and mentally prepared. You know what I mean? So yeah, shout out to Micron, guys. Crazy day. A lot of these stocks are going nuts in the aftermarket. Now I'm very interested to see how tomorrow goes. What do you guys think, man? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, join my Patreon if you want to keep up with my portfolio updates, my trades, investments. If you want to be a part of my private Discord, that's linked down below, pinned in the comments, or go to stassurfest.com/Patreon. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the Patreon or in the next video. Peace out.